Today I wanted to go over some uses that you can use a tarp for in a survival situation. Right now I'm logging firewood using the tarp. Now you can collect wild edibles with this tarp. You can collect, clay. Put clay in the middle of it for transporting around to make, pottery, or to use clay for chinking up and making a clay oven and so on and so forth. You can haul sand with it. You can move debris with it. There's many uses for a tarp just for harvesting material. As you've seen, I was able to collect water with it, and gathering it up that water, I had about a gallon of water in it and just closed up the top. I could tie that off, and this one's waterproof, so I could save that for later. All tarps are not equal. Some are made in a lesser quality, so they will leak, and this is a heavy duty one. It's waterproof, it will not leak. But as I've shown, as well as I dug a pit in the ground, I built up the sides and then pushed the tarp down inside and weighted down the outside. If it rained, it was a good water collection area. Or I could fill that up full of water and I would have a little pool that I could wash in, bathe in. The black side up, the sun would heat the water some, and many uses for having a little basin or pool of water. And as I mentioned, if it rained, it would be great for water collection. That would have held about 2 gallons of water, just what I had right there. So I'm just going to go over some of the uses that myself would use if I had a tarp and I was in a survival situation. Enjoy. Now, another use for a tarp is cordage. Now, if I take my knife, stick it in like that, and now I'm gonna kind of spread this out. Now, of course, this is not perfectly straight. It's pretty strong, pretty tough stuff. Yeah, it's pretty tough stuff. You can use that for some lashing. If you want to lash up a couple ridge poles, make a lean-to, tie a couple pieces on that, and that will sturdy it up pretty good. This stuff is tough stuff. I mean, you get the cheaper quality, it's going to be it's going to break easier. It's not going to be as tough as this. This one here is pretty tough. If I come right onto it, everything I got, and keep coming onto it, I could probably break it. In a couple spots like this here, it was ripped a little bit. But that took a lot of force to break that. But that was only about 3/16. So that'll come in pretty handy. What you can do is reverse wrap this as well to make this into cordage, into stronger cordage. If you don't know how to reverse wrap, there's many videos out there. Now you can see it's making a very strong cordage. Just cut another piece off of that. Now, another idea here is you can throw food in here for storage and so on. If you gather these in, you have that in the center, just gather that all in. Like that. That will still give you a lot of room in here. Now you can take your cordage here. Of course, this here would be better if you had different ropes and so on as well. But I'm just kind of giving you an idea. You can tie this like this here and put this someplace for storage or whatever. But if you had rope, you could do the same thing. Tie this around, have your food in here. You cinch this up real tight, and it's basically waterproof. And you can hoist this up into the tree. So if you had a few of these, this is like a 3x3 tarp. If you had a few of these, you could put food in them and hoist them up in the trees away from predators and such. So you can have your own little stash way up into the trees of food. So that's one idea. Now I'm going to show you around camp if you want basically a little area to put things. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab this end, flip it over, and start gathering it like this here. Just gather it up. Like that. Take my cordage, wrap it around, and tie it. Like I said, each tarp's going to be a little different. This one here is a really tough tarp, so the cordage is pretty strong on it. I'm going to do the same thing on this one. Like that. Grab my other one. I can cinch that right down and it's not breaking. There you go. Now, I've got a really nice pouch as well that I can collect and such. I'm going to bring you up and show you what I have in mind. So I've got this like this here, one on each side. Now I can take this and tie this around one side of the tree and tie it around the other. Not sure if I have enough cordage on the other side. But if I tie that up like that, I can lay, you know, stuff that I've gathered and so on. I have a little, basically, shelf to put stuff and to store stuff. So, poly tarps. I find many uses for poly tarps. They're one of my favorite, actually. It's lightweight for me. It's lightweight, totally waterproof without any treatment. It lasts years. And it's totally windproof as well. I mean, you have different quality tarps. So if you're going to get a tarp that you want to last some time, then get a really good heavy duty one. They're reasonably priced as well, which I like, you know. So what I got to say is that I always get a tarp, usually a 9x12, something like that there. That's what I usually take out when I go into the bush, if I'm going for camping and so on and so forth. So if I needed to, I could cut off, you know, 2 feet off the bottom end or 3 feet off the bottom, and I still have a 9x10 tarp, which I can still get, you know, use a tarp for what it's for normally, is shelter, ground sheet, and so on. You know, I'll still have that, but I'll have extra for these type of tasks if I need to. So that's why I always carry a little bigger tarp. Anyhow, hopefully this will give some ideas to some of you folks, and it's one of my favorite tarps, is the poly tarp. Have a good one.